Hey, in today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to draw this girl looking over her shoulder in the traditional Andrew Loomis method. She has a dark braid, dark hair, she's great eyes, you're going to love it. And there's a special little part that I go over in detail how to draw lips. I think it's near the 3/4 point. Anyways, my name's Kurt, I'm a Daddy Draws. Check it out. I can't wait to see your work. All right. Let's get to it. So I'm going to start off with a sphere, okay? And then I'm going to look for this brow line. It's going to come across, slightly crossed like this. And now the center line, the placement of the face, the center line runs right between the two eyes, right down the center of the nose. You see that? So we want to just roughly try and put that in, just like something like that. I typically look at, I imagine that there is a center line going down here, and then I'll look at what's the width. What's the width of that right there? That is my key, okay? So that is a great way to try and place that center line by looking at that relationship. All right, so we have that. All right, so I'm going to come down here with a little bit of an angle to try and get the side of her face, okay? Next thing I'm going to do is look for the temples. Now the temples are the little nodes underneath your, right here at the edges of your eyebrows, okay? So let's see where they're, okay, there, we're going to be right there on the girl and maybe right over about there, okay? And then I'm going to draw like, as if I sliced off the side of her head there. So I get this very flat. Heads typically are very flat along the sides, okay? And you can kind of indicate that with just with a very light line, okay? All right, let's go ahead then and establish about where these eye line's going to be, right? It's going to hang just below just below the brow line there. And then usually it's in half. So from the brow line, let's kind of try and estimate about where the nose is. The bottom of the nose is going to be right here, okay? And usually then it's going to be a half. So in this case, let's look at this right here. So there's my eye line right there. I'm going to say that this is going to be the bottom of my nose. And let's come down about half, right about there. That's going to kind of be a rough estimate of where my chin's going to be. Next, let's look for the visor. Okay, what is the visor? All right, visor is this place right here. You see how it comes in almost like a visor. This works really well when you're on a 3/4 view. All right, and a visor is like this part of the head comes down here like this. All right. That's what we call the visor. So that will help to, that just gives us more information to work from as we add that in. So let's do that. So there's that right there. Okay, then her cheek's going to come out a little bit. Let's get this angle. It's not much there. And then we're going to come straight down to the chin there. Look at that. All right. Same thing on this side. It's going to come out like that slightly. All right. This is where her cheekbones are going to go. Okay. This is going to be the bottom of her nose, I believe we established. All right, so that's going to help us establish where that visor goes. All right. Let's talk about the ear. The ear we can't see, but we know that typically the top of the ear lines up with the eyes, okay? Eyes or brow line. It just depends on the person's age. We'll go halves on this, and it usually goes to the bottom of the nose. So her ears are covered by her hair right now, so we'll just kind of indicate that for the time being. And then from the bottom of the ear, you want to drop down just a little bit to find the corner of the jaw. Now the corner of the jaw is going to drop down, and you can kind of feel it. It usually lines up with your mouth, just like that, okay? And then what we'll do is then we'll just very lightly connect those two. You let me know if I'm going too fast on this, okay? There's a saying I like to say is that don't draw a person's likeness. Don't even worry about it, but worry about their construction. If you get all of these constructions start to in place, the likeness will start to snap into place. It's a really interesting process. If you only focus on it's like this idea. And I was actually thinking of this thought this morning. If I was a conductor starting to put together an orchestra, more than likely I would not start with the third chair piccolo. No, that's not where I would begin. I would like look at the big picture, and I would be like, okay, we've got our brass. I'm going to need some brass instruments. I'm going to need some string instruments. I'm going to need some percussion. And so I would kind of like get a feel for how all of those are going to mix together. And then I might go into the percussion, and I might break that down. Oh, I'm going to need some snare drums and some bass drums, and I would break that down a little bit. And then I'd go to you see what I mean? Then I'd go to the woodwinds, the brass. Hey, look at that. Leah's in the house. Hello there. And then I would break those things down as well. See, so I'm breaking things down into their smallest forms. Okay, let's keep going here. So now let's get the keystone in for the top of the nose. And then we're going to come down. Let's get this nose coming in like this. And it's going to circle around. Look at that, just like that. Did I just draw that not long enough? I may have. You know what? I'm gonna make it longer actually. I'm gonna come all the way down to there, and I hope I just didn't blow it, but we'll see what happens. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's keep going here. All right, so we got the bottom of our nose there. Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and put in this the nostril. Okay, and of course the wing is going to come behind that. And already, look what I've done. I've lined my nostril up with the bottom of the nose, but I look at the picture, and that's not the case at all. Uh-oh, I'm in deep trouble now. But heck, that's the way we roll. We just keep going forward here, right? Okay, next. We got that down here. Let's go ahead and look at the ball of the mouth. All right. Ball of the mouth. We're going to drop in the chin as well. All right. We'll continue here. Now, typically, if you look at the wing, the outside of the wing of the nose lines up with the inside part of the eye, okay? And in our picture here, let's jump up here. In our picture here, all right, it's close, but her eye is a little bit more to the right. So we want to keep that in mind, all right? So it's going to be right a little bit more to the right. So we'll just come over maybe right about there. And then the other mark before I draw I want to determine how wide the eye is. I do see this going on. Let's get up here. Look at the corner of her eyes right there, but then the corner up there, it's just slightly higher. Okay, so I want to keep that in mind as well. So we'll go a little bit higher there. Okay, and let's go ahead. I'm going to draw the eyeball in. It's the way that I like to do it. And there's many ways to do it. And let's get this other one in now as well. Hey, there you are. I don't mean to interrupt the video, but listen, if you're enjoying this, do me a big favor. You know the drill. Jump down there, hit that like button. Go ahead and tell me in the comments whether you'd like to see more landscapes, seascapes, or still lifes, okay? All right, let's get back to work now. All right, let's get these pupils in. And I'm just kind of looking at, when I draw my pupils, one thing I'm checking, let me zoom in here. I look at this distance here. I look at this negative space compared to the size of the pupil. You see that? This is negative space in here. That's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to make mine just a little bit wider. There it is. And then I'm going to drop my other one here. Same thing. I'm looking at that negative space there. All right. I'm going to put it in my eyelids now. And when you're drawing your eyelids, let's just say this is your eyeball. Just don't think of a perfect rainbow. What you want to do really is come up and then down. So it's slightly off center. This is the way you want to think of drawing your eyes, okay? So we're going to come up and then we're going to come down. Okay, let's go ahead and get that lower eyelid in. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Now look at the other side. It goes really up on the outside there and then sweeps down. My precious wife is calling me. Yes, let me give her a thumbs up here. All right, here we go. Let's keep going here. You're getting involved in all my domestic conversations, right? All right, let's get those top eyelids in now. And then as far as her eyelashes go, I'm just barely going to indicate them, but just make sure that top eyelid is a little bit thicker than normal, except on the 3/4 view. Look at that. It really shows when it turns the corner there. See that? So I want to show that. Definitely I want to show that. All right, carrying on here. Let's carry on. Okay, let's get this nose in place here because I don't know what I did. And I'm just going to, a lot of times when we're drawing women, we want to be careful of that distance of the nose. It's like from the brow line all the way down to the tip. So a lot of times you'll see artists, they will just draw like this tip area and then let their line fade away and let the mind connect this because, we want to make a nose, we don't want to bring a lot of attention to a woman's nose, but just enough to keep it very feminine looking. All right, so we got that. All right, let's put these, let's keep moving forward here. Let's get these, I'm looking at this eyebrow on the left-hand side. Zoom in. In order to get the position of that eyebrow right, I'm actually going to be looking really at that negative space right there, okay? I'm really keeping my eyes not on the eyebrow, but on that negative shape. Okay. And let's get this other one as well here. That's what we're going to go with, I believe. I'm going to go ahead and tone in my irises slightly, my pupils. We'll come back and go a little bit darker here when we get a little bit more in. All right. Let's move down to her lips now, okay? When I'm drawing lips, the first thing I like to do is find the center line. Use the center line as a guidance, okay? And the center line goes from the very center of the nose. It comes right down the center of the lips and goes right below the chin. So let's just curve that center line very carefully in. And then the other thing I like to look for is where is the lips come together here, okay? So I'm going to, when I'm drawing lips, I like to, this is the point where the lips come together. You see that? This is actually a nice little place to start, because then it gives me an idea of where, of how to build off of that. So let's start there, okay? It's going to be short over here, and it's going to be a little bit longer over there, because I'm looking at it on a 3/4 view. Now, watch very carefully. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in here and show you this here. Just establish that idea on our page. This is our center line coming down here. Now, look where this lip, the top lip starts way below this and has a real nice arc to it, all right? Then this one is really stretched out quite a bit. Get this one right. Make sure that this falls below that edge there, okay? All right, so here we go. We're going to get top of lip is going to be right there, and this is going to peak and drop down. And then this one's going to be a little bit, it's going to peak at the same distance, but then it's going to come all the way out to right about, I'm looking at a lining, watch this now. Where is this lining up with that eye? See that? You know, one of the best things that you could do in order to improve is to draw a little bit every day.
I've got this great membership class called the Daily Draw.
We get together every day for about 30 minutes. I go live in the afternoon, and we cover all things that have to do with drawing. If you stuck with this for 3 months, I guarantee you're going to be far more confident in your drawing. Link is in the description. Check it out. All right, let's get back to work. And I'm just going to, yep, just something like that. We'll do that for right now. All right, let's just kind of come in there with a little bit of a circle. And then I'm not going to, the left-hand side, I'm just going to jump right into the shape of that bottom lip. You see that? And then we're just going to sweep this around. And boom, there you go. There are some beautiful lips that you just drew. And we used it We used them, we looked at it as parts and slowly built up. Now, let me just say on the aspect of drawing lips, it would be wise for you to watch this video, this little section over a couple times and really understand how these lips work when it comes to like using the concept of overlap. Because that's really what we're talking about here. What form overlaps another, and that creates depth. You see what I'm saying? Okay, let's continue on here. All right, so we have our chin coming in here, and looks like I probably dropped this chin just a little bit. I went a little bit too long, but I can make an adjustment here. And let's see what's next here. Let's get the bottom of her eye here. And then this, and then she's going to have a slight shadow over here. So I'm just going to put a slight indication there. All right, here we go. I'm going to get this nice cheek in. Cheek is going to flare out there, and it's going to have a nice curve and come in really close, real close to those lips right there. And then we're going to have our chin coming out just a little bit. And she has a cleft in her chin, and that's going to be slight. That's probably too big for me, so we'll just do a little bit there. It's even still too much. We'll go with that right there. Okay. Wow, I think we're coming together nicely here. All right, so let's go ahead now and add our hair into our portrait. And let's think of the hair. Let's think of the hair as a mass, like you're taking clay and you're not drawing individual hairs, but you're actually drawing a mass, okay? So let's start over here, and we will start to build that in, okay? So let's first start off just with the shape. Let's get our shape right, okay? All right, and then I'm going to come over here like this, right? And we have this like this. She has this, we have this nice little negative space here that's showing up, all right? So I'm going to draw the negative shape. And then I'm looking at the negative distance from here. Let me show you what I'm looking at now. I'm looking at like the distance from this to there. That's what I'm kind of judging right now. So we're going to come around a little bit. Just looking at the general shape now of her hair. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, let's get the back end here. Just thinking of the mass, squinting my eyes if I have to. All right, and then she has some beautiful curls that are going down here. I'm just going to try and use surface lines right now to kind of indicate them, and I could come back a little bit later and show those, okay? All right, let's get some hair on this other side as well. Just thinking of mass right now. I'm not thinking of individual strands. Okay. All right, let's try and break this is now let's break the hair down just a little bit here, okay? So we have some pieces that are going like this, and really I'm just using surface lines. It's almost, we had a class on Monday about drawing waves. It's very similar to that. Okay, and we could use some other surface lines right here to indicate the direction of her hair. And then over here, let's see, how far? Okay, so this is like, I could see that it looks like she has either a blanket it's coming down there just a little bit. Just slowly building it up. We have most of our construction down. It looks pretty good. Now it's a matter of just adding value. Adding value. Doing it carefully with tone. Okay. And so let's just squint. Now there's more value in her hair. So let's start there by adding some, try and get in a very even tone. And we will start with that. And we can always add more. This, her hair is very dark. It's adding some beautiful contrast to her face. Making sure this is a very even tone. All right. Now let's add some tone to the top of her lip. And there's a little bit of shadow underneath her bottom lip. All right. If you've made it this far, you could see kind of what our next steps are, and that's to add that tone and to get that nice combination of value of the dark contrast of her pupils and her hair versus her skin and the area of her lips and the shadow of her nose. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws. And
a dad who draws.
Hey, how'd it go? I bet you did a great job. Well, listen, if you want more videos on how to do landscapes, check this one out right here. Or if you're looking for more portrait work, check out this one right there, okay? All right, go out there, make your day great.